Right now at 5. Deadly gunfire at a Wisconsin private school. Several others injured.
Every child, every person in that building is a victim.
7 News is staying on top of this tragedy that continues to evolve. D.C. Council member Trayon White's colleagues vote to boot him, but he's not gone yet. All new at 5, we break down what comes next and show you what happened the last time a council member was in White's position. Maryland's governor hits pause on parts of the state's expensive and not yet funded blueprint for education. Concerned teachers sound off tonight as a fiscal reality sets in. Plus, 24 hours after securing a winning season, how does Jaden Daniels celebrate? By giving back to local children.
First at 5, we are following breaking news out of Madison, Wisconsin, where police say a student opened fire in a school today. A student and teacher were killed and 6 others hospitalized. Thank you for joining us as we continue to get the latest. I'm Victoria Sanchez.
Yeah, I'm Josh Chapin. Just a horrible story. Right now, students at that Madison Christian school reuniting with their families after a harrowing day. Police say the suspect was found dead inside the building when they got there.
Our John Rogers is at the alert desk with the very latest. John, you just got an update a few minutes ago. What can you tell us?
A few seconds ago, as you were saying hello, we just learned that the shooter is a 17-year-old female student at the school. Again, a female student at the school. As Victoria had said, 6 people are in the hospital right now. At last update, 2 of those victims in critical condition. 4 are expected to recover. Here's what we know right now. That 17-year-old student took out a 9mm handgun and opened fire at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison at about 11 a.m. Central Time. Authorities have not shared further details, the name rather, of this shooter. They do say, though, it's unknown if this student had any prior contact with law enforcement. We're now hearing from parents about the moment they heard it was their school, and the mayor who hopes the community can come together.
My sister's a mess on the phone, you know, you know, we've joked around about how safe a 400 student-bodied school, Christian private school is, right? If it can happen here, it can literally happen anywhere.
The most important thing right now is to make sure that we are centering the victims and their families, and that we are doing whatever we can to support them and to help them heal, and to lift our entire community up through this difficult incident.
Authorities say the suspected shooter's family is cooperating with police. This private Christian school, which again only has about 390 students from kindergarten through 12th grade, did not have a school resource officer. School officials say this was the last school week before holiday break, and of course we'll continue to keep an eye on any new developments.
John Rogers with the latest. Thank you for that. Well, the D.C. Council votes overwhelmingly to recommend expelling Ward 8 Councilman Trayon White. It comes as he faces a federal bribery investigation.
Yeah, we've been following this story every step of the way. White accused of accepting tens of thousands of dollars in bribes to pressure city workers to agree to specific contracts.
The council hired a law firm to investigate White shortly after his arrest in August. In a report shared last week, the investigation found, quote, substantial evidence White violated the council's code of conduct.
Yeah, White stripped of many of his council responsibilities this summer, and now his fellow council members say it's time to go.
Anything less than expulsion will not rectify the situation.
We have no choice but to vote to expel Councilmember Trayon White.
It is my hope that Councilmember Trayon White will not see this process to the end, but will resign.
Expulsion is an appropriate sanction in light of the serious violation.
I'll be supporting the recommendation of expulsion today.
I believe this committee should vote to expel Mr. Trayon White.
There is only one path forward, and I support the motion for expulsion.
All right, council member after council member, you heard it there. 7 News' Rebecca Turco at today's meeting during that vote.
Rebecca, the council seems all on board with some definitive and strong language there, but it's not a done deal yet. This was just one step in the process.
That's right, not a done deal just yet. Councilmember Trayon White will have the chance to share his side of the story at an upcoming hearing next month. That's, of course, if he chooses to do so. Today, he sat directly facing his fellow council members as they detailed why they feel he should be out.
This is quintessential corruption. There's only one remedy to remove the corruption from our body,
And with that, Council Chairman Phil Mendelson put forth a motion to recommend expelling Councilmember Trayon White after the chairman of this committee, determining his fate, lined out the findings from a report they commissioned.
This investigation was thorough and it was independent. The firm found substantial evidence that Councilmember Trayon White Sr. violated the law and council rules.
It all stems from Councilmember White's federal bribery charges. He's accused of steering city contracts from government agencies to various companies and organizations in exchange for cash bribes and kickbacks.
The court will determine whether Councilmember Trayon White broke the law. The council must determine whether he broke the D.C. Council ethics rules.
One by one, almost every council member took time to outline why they feel the Ward 8 leader should be expelled.
People of D.C. and the nation's capital must have trust in our government, period.
Councilmember Trayon White betrayed the trust of his staff, the Council of the District of Columbia, district agencies, and above all, the residents of Ward 8.
Some also took the time to detail the good he's done for those residents.
I have seen his deep compassion and empathy in service of his community and the residents of Ward 8. But I also have faith and confidence in this process that has been clear and transparent.
So when it came time for a vote to recommend he be expelled,
The motion is adopted unanimously.
so was the motion to adopt the investigative report.
Councilmember, did they make the right call?
We got no response when we tried speaking to the council member afterward. He answered other questions with,
No comment at the moment. Thank you.
So now there's a hearing set for January 28th, and I'm told a vote isn't likely at that hearing, that it'll be likely the following week at the next legislative meeting, and that Trayon White cannot vote. Reporting live from the Wilson Building, Rebecca Turco, 7 News.
Rebecca, thank you. Now, if Trayon White is expelled, it will be the first time that happens to a D.C. council member. You might remember back in really the early 2000s, former council member Jack Evans resigned. The ad hoc committee had voted to advance his expulsion to the full council, but he stepped down before it could come up. Based on what we heard from Trayon today, it doesn't seem he'll follow that tactic. Our Scott Taylor joining us live. Support for Trayon still strong here, though.
Yeah, it is. You know, a lot of people in Ward 8 love the guy. Trayon White supporters were out in full force today, like they are at any of his federal court hearings, public appearances, and of course the voting booth in Ward 8. This morning, the council's ad hoc committee decided to recommend to the rest of the council to expel White. They did that after hearing from Ward 8 residents. One woman put the rest of the council on notice. When you give White the boot, who's going to pick up the phone and handle major issues in Ward 8?
They could have censored him, but to remove him, just go hard and expel him and remove the representation from 87,000 plus residents when they know the state. It's people today going to be evicted in Ward 8. It's people living right now with no water, no electricity. None of them going to do the work.
The I-Team working on pulling more interviews from today's ad hoc meeting to show you at 6, including sound from a man who lives in the district but not in Ward 8. He was very supportive of kicking White off the council. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.
And all this comes as we are still more than a year out from Trayon White's federal trial. He was arrested in August and faced a judge for the very first time the next day. About a month ago, he had a status hearing and his trial was set for January 2026. Jury selection is expected to start in late 2025.
Obviously, this is the big story of the day, and tonight we want to hear from you about this case. You can vote now in a poll right on our website to let us know if you believe the district has a strong enough code of ethics to prevent corruption. It's linked in Rebecca's story, and on our poll page, we'll be checking in on those results throughout the evening. We've extensively covered this federal bribery investigation into Trayon White and the fallout from his charges. You can find all of our reporting at WJLA.com and on our 7 News YouTube channel. We have the QR code right in the left-hand side of your screen there so you can keep up with all the latest developments.
Take a look at this. This is what it looked like yesterday in Frederick, Maryland, as the snow was coming down. You can see it sticking there, though it's probably all gone by now. Some schools in Virginia and West Virginia were on delays this morning after a little snowfall too. VJ, it makes me wonder, is it beginning to feel a lot like Christmas for Christmas?
It'll feel like Christmas come this weekend, but like what's going to happen in the next 24 hours when temperatures going way up, they'll start rising just before Christmas. So we're going to continue the roller coaster ride here. No chance of any white Christmas the way it's looking right now, but you'll want to stay with your First Alert weather team. Here's that high temperature for tomorrow at 64 degrees before we get another major drop in the temperatures this upcoming weekend. Of course, Saturday, the winter solstice. Yeah, coming in, the cold air right on cue. But then we rise again, and for Christmas Day, the high temperature is 46 degrees the way it's looking now. And I mentioned that it is currently looking like we're going to have a very low chance of any snow and even a low rain chance. So just mostly cloudy skies for right now with temperatures in the 40s. In fact, much of the nation is going to be rather quiet for Christmas Day based on the guidance. Minneapolis, Fargo, up in the areas of the extreme upper Midwest. And then maybe out west, they'll get some snow, the ski resorts. Around here, it's a warm Tuesday for us, and that means no delays for tomorrow. Tracking this warm front, it'll bring some more spotty showers to the area for the overnight. The early part of the night should be gone by morning with just some patchy fog. So instead of temperatures falling, those temperatures are going to be rising all night. 40s here for the overnight, and in the lower 50s first thing tomorrow morning, again with some fog. However, sunshine coming our way and a major rise in temperatures just in time for tomorrow afternoon. I'll show you how warm coming up next.
PJ, you emphasized the major, so that's got to be a really good thing. We'll check in with you shortly. Thank you. Right now, Jaden Daniels, big victory yesterday, I have to say, giving back to the local community right here in the DMV.
Well, maybe not that big, but a win is a win, right,
Yeah,
Josh?
right.
Well, our 70s sports
yeah.
director, Scott Abraham, joins us now. And Scott, Jaden is going to be there soon, and some kids are maybe just a little excited.
Yeah, winning on and off the field. That's what Jaden Daniels does, and this is a great event. Holiday season, we're at Raising Cane's, and in just a few minutes, the rookie quarterback for the Washington Commanders will be here giving away bikes. That's right, 100 bikes to the Boys and Girls Club of Anne Arundel and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington. A lot of the kids have their bikes already, and this is quite the hazard because I already had my ankle taken out. They're riding around in the parking lot. The smiles on their faces, they're just having a great time. A lot of these kids, they don't have bikes, and this is a brand new bike, and Jaden Daniels partnering with Raising Cane's. It's going to be a great atmosphere when they see Jaden kind of step off the bus and show his face. And this is the holiday season. It's all about giving. Josh, let's send it back to you.
All right, Scott, it is all about giving this time of year. What a wonderful event. Thank you. A lofty education plan in Maryland may be put on the shelf. Why even the governor now says the so-called blueprint is costing too much for the state.
In our 5 stops at 5, a 2-alarm fire in Northern Virginia. What happened when crews were called to this apartment this weekend?
7 News now with 5 stops at 5, covering stories happening around the DMV. Our first stop is in Prince George's County just before 11 last night. Police called to Greenbelt Road in Goddard, where 2 men were found with gunshot wounds. And one of the victims died at the scene. Sources tell our 7 News Bureau Chief Brad Bell that the man who died was likely shot by someone while he was trying to rob them. Now, at this time, there's no update on the other man's condition. Next, we are heading to Fairfax County. Virginia State Police now say 1 person was killed, another seriously hurt in a crash that's caused miles of backups on 95 North. Some lanes are still closed near the Lorton exit. Now, we're working to learn more about this crash, and we'll update you as soon as we get new details. In Arlington, police say a man is now in custody after allegedly stabbing a toddler and a woman in Pentagon City Saturday night. The 2 victims were standing on the sidewalk on Army-Navy Drive when the suspect attacked them. Here's 23-year-old Leonardo Reyes is now in custody. Police say he was found hiding under a car in a parking garage. He's now being held without bond. Both victims suffered serious injuries and are being treated at the hospital. We head back now to Fairfax County, where firefighters were called to a 2-alarm fire at an apartment in Woodlawn this Sunday. Now, this broke out on Buckman Road. Yeah, you see the crews working here. Officials say a firefighter and civilian both taken to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. And for the last stop, it is a little time for dinner. I think a lot of you probably eating already. The all-vegetarian Mida in D.C. now as a Michelin star, and his head chef may have made a little bit of history as well.
Yes, this is a tasty story. Chef Miguel Guerra is the youngest Venezuelan chef to receive a Michelin star, and Chef Tatiana Mora is the first Venezuelan female chef to get the honor. If you're looking for a little dinner inspiration, you can find their story on our 7 News Instagram page.
Or just go there for dinner.
Of course.
That's probably the best way to do this, right? Yeah.
All of us, guess who's paying? Since you mentioned it. All right, guys. Not a fan of this latest chill? Well, hold on, because tomorrow our temperature is going way up. It's been 40s today and rising. We'll be into the low to mid 60s for tomorrow afternoon, and then temperatures will come crashing right back down. Going fast down that roller coaster with highs Saturday in the upper 30s, Sunday probably in the lower 30s. That is some weather whiplash. And right now, 2024 stands as the warmest year to date. When you look at the average temperature, close to 63 degrees. And of course, we've got several more days yet to go. And we started the day, of course, with the delays as mentioned, but also quite a bit of fog around the area. And we were worried even about some of that fog maybe turning to freezing fog. The reason that we've had it, you look at Frostburg University, the air temperature there at 45 degrees, the ground temperature at 35. So that's advection fog for us, the result of the moisture condensing, the little water droplets, and turning it over into fog as the air cools. Right now, the fog advisory is here until 8 p.m. Washington, Berkeley, Morgan, and Allegheny County. Again, until 8 p.m. That's it. Because as we see those temperatures come up, we'll have a bigger temperature difference, too, around the area. That's tomorrow morning, about 49 degrees in Gaithersburg. It is expected to be dry, still some clouds, but afternoon sunshine clearing from northwest to southeast. So that's 2 o'clock. Pretty sunny there in areas like Gaithersburg, Leavittsville, and Leesburg, even Frederick, Maryland. The clouds could hold a little longer in southern Maryland, but eventually you'll get a little bit too of sunshine before the sun sets tomorrow. And then Wednesday, here we go again. Temperatures have cooled, low in mid 30s, and here comes the rain starting at 2 o'clock on Wednesday and continuing until 11 p.m. I've got our highest chance of rain at 7 p.m. That's your Wednesday rush right along the I-95 corridor. Could get somewhere between a quarter and about a half inch of rainfall. So right now, our temp is at 45 degrees. Our temperatures rising during the overnight, not cooling, so no freezing surfaces to worry about. 40s to lower 50s by 6 o'clock in the morning, and then on to the lower and mid 60s for the afternoon. Look at this, by lunchtime tomorrow, 59 degrees, 64, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then we'll start to see those temperatures drop by 5 p.m. That's a pretty good forecast right there. Your 7-day forecast from your First Alert weather team. Dry for the end of the week and dry for the weekend, but plain old cold. Look at these feels like temperatures. Your wind chills in the teens in the morning, maybe 20, 21 degrees during the afternoon. Of course, the Commanders play on Sunday. Hope you start planning now. You're going to need to bundle up. Sunshine, too, for Monday. We'll have another look at what Christmas is looking like coming up. A look at sports now.
All right, VJ, we are awaiting the arrival of Commanders rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels doing a bike giveaway, giving out 100 bikes to kids. It is the holiday season, and it's not the holiday season without Santa. Santa, can I get a ho, ho, ho? Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, boys and girls! It is a little chilly outside, but we are warm with the holiday spirit. Big event here at Raising Cane's. Rookie quarterback for the Washington Commanders, Jayden Daniels, will be here shortly for a bike giveaway. Look at this, 100 bikes. Jayden partnering with Raising Cane's to give away to the Boys and Girls Club of Anne Arundel County and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington. What a tremendous effort by Jayden to kind of entrench himself in our community. And hopefully shortly we'll be able to talk with Jayden when he arrives. Hopefully that'll be coming your way at 6 o'clock tonight right here on 7 News. Now, meanwhile, let's take you back to yesterday, show you some highlights from that Saints game. It was a very close game, maybe too tight for comfort, but this Washington Commanders team keeps finding ways to win. They've been involved with 9 games that have the score has been separated by 8 points or less. A lot of close games. Some of them they've won, like yesterday, but some of them they've lost. Now, just a short time ago, I spoke with head coach Dan Quinn over Zoom, and we discussed about how these close games might help them down this final stretch.
they've got great belief in one another. And I think belief is so powerful. I think it can be even more powerful than knowing. Just the belief of the person next to you, the belief that you're going to make this play, the belief that your teammate's going to do it. Like I said, there's like a million things that we're still learning and growing on. But I love that we're able to learn those through a win. And it's way easier than, about the referees or other stuff or why you got screwed. Like, go find a way to win, man. Like, that's the lesson.
Yep, and they got that win, and they are now 9-5 on the season with a big game coming up on Sunday, hosting their NFC East foe, the Philadelphia Eagles. One more time here, bike giveaway, Jaden Daniels on his way here. It's going to be a great event. We'll have much more coming your way at 6 o'clock. Victoria, let's send it back to you in the studio. All right, Scott, I saw some kids doing the Macarena out there. I think I need to see your moves. That's right. Maybe one time. Maybe I'll break it off a few moves. All right. We'll come back. We'll see. All right. Thanks for that, Scott. Okay. A plan to put Maryland education equity on the fast track is hitting a roadblock. Yeah, why state leaders are at odds over how to cut costs and the blueprint for Maryland's future.
You're watching 7 News, on your side at 5.
Back now, 7 News at 5 with 5 things you need to know right now. You can find all these stories online right now as well. D.C. Councilman Trayon White defends himself to the public as the council makes it known they want him out. It comes as White is facing a federal bribery investigation. You can watch everything that he had to say here, get updates on the developing case on our 7 News YouTube channel. And we're continuing to monitor a breaking story out of Madison, Wisconsin, after a shooting at a school left 3 dead and 6 hospitalized. Yeah, what is there to say about this? Authorities say the 17-year-old female suspect was found dead inside the school, 17 years old. We're posting updates about this. WJLA.com will have more on what we learned on this developing story ahead at 6 o'clock. Following a racist incident at Wooten High School earlier this month, the school will hold a public meeting. 7 News reporting on this for weeks on concerns among parents and students over the district's handling of that incident. We have meeting details also at WJLA.com. And 7 News has been making our rounds to find some of the best light displays around the DMV. From homes to schools to gas stations, really? I'm waiting for the gas station here. You can check out some of the best lights we've seen over on our 7 News Instagram page. I mean, how long does this take? That's what I really want to know. Oh, this is my house. Oh, yeah, that's your house? Okay, all right. Let's go back. And it is it was dreary. I agree. I'm hoarse. I don't know. It was just like getting over the hump today to get out of the
and slough. Then the fog, and then it just kind of dissipated a little bit, VJ.
Yeah, rainy days and Mondays hard for us. All right, I'm going to walk you through the 48-hour rain chances, but first, let's talk about that temperature and where we are right now. 45 degrees, and temperatures are going to be rising. So by the mid part of the night here, we'll be at 55 degrees in D.C. Feels like 41. And yes, we're going to be getting some more of this for at least a couple of hours. Showers, they're back with us. Culpeper, Quantico right now around Gaithersburg and Leesburg, but it's just that all liquid, no snow, and no freezing rain either. Here's a look at your rain chances going up well past tomorrow, well past Wednesday morning. So tomorrow morning you're dry. Tomorrow afternoon you're looking at dry conditions. 7 a.m. you're dry. Rain chances back after 2 o'clock Wednesday up until 11 p.m. So 2 till 11 p.m. that's when we'll get some more rain. Again, showers early. That's a look at tonight, about 36 to 42 degrees across the area. By morning we'll be into the mid 50s, and tomorrow afternoon mid 50s for the D.C. area or D.C. Metro, 60 for Leesburg, 61 degrees around St. Mary's, and then by late tomorrow again or late Wednesday, some more rain showers will be around 50 degrees. We'll take a look at Friday and the upcoming weekend. Just a few more days left until Christmas, guys. I'll have that forecast.
We'll take 60s in December to be sure. VJ, all right, we'll check with you in a couple of minutes. Okay, the so-called blueprint for Maryland's future is one of the most expensive and controversial plans recently enacted by the state legislature. The goal is to improve early education options, but it was never given a funding source. Now the bills are due, and Governor Wes Moore is admitting the spending plan may have to be paused. Our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell covering this issue for years now, joining us live from the State House with these brand new developments. Brad?
Yeah, look, if you haven't heard of the blueprint, what it is essentially is a formula for how much has to be spent by law on education. But For a couple of years now, we've been hearing at the county and the state level that it was causing financial problems. Those financial problems are growing, and now the governor is saying, yeah, something's got to give. The blueprint needs some changes. We have repeatedly asked Governor Wes Moore if changes are coming to the massive school spending plan called the Blueprint for Maryland's Future. He's been non-committal until now. Faced with a looming multi-billion-dollar deficit, he has told county leaders from across the state, quote, "We will implement the parts of the blueprint we know work. We will pause the elements that need a closer look." Now, teachers are vowing to fight to keep the plan intact.
It's a whole package. When you start chipping away with it, we're never going to meet the goals that it was intended to.
And Republicans in the legislature are pushing for deeper cuts.
We've been saying the blueprint needs to be reevaluated, and I'm glad to see that it is going to be paused.
The blueprint calls for a $3.9 billion increase in school spending over the next 10 years. It expands early childhood education, boosts career and technical training, and pays teachers more. But when passed by the legislature, it didn't include any way to pay for it. Republicans fear that means tax hikes with no guarantee increased spending will do any good.
The question is, should taxpayers be putting more money into a broken system, or do we really need to get what we have working right now?
While teachers call it a wise investment.
I do truly believe that every dollar we invest in our students is an investment in our future, and it will come back tenfold.
In that speech given to the Maryland Association of Counties, Governor Moore says he continues to, quote, believe in the promise of the blueprint, but the realization of that promise doesn't come through strict adherence to formulas at all costs. Yeah, at all costs. Now, look, the governor is not saying specifically what elements of the blueprint are going to be paused, except for one, and that it was a promise to teachers that they would have more time for planning. That was going to be created by hiring many more teachers across the state. We expect more details in the weeks ahead. We've also learned that many leaders of teachers' unions across the state are actually going to be meeting tonight to figure out how they're going to respond to this idea of pausing the blueprint. In Annapolis, Brad Bell, 7 News.
All right, Brad, a lot to follow even into tonight. Thank you. Right now, Montgomery County Police are investigating a death on Georgia Avenue. We'll show you the map right here. This investigation started around 5 this morning, shutting down the busy road near Sligo Avenue. That was during the morning commute. Limited details have been released. We'll keep you updated as soon as we get more information from the authorities.
And we told you last week that several agencies in the DMV are investigating reports of mysterious drones. Similar reports are coming in from up and down the East Coast, including Massachusetts, where a small drone was found on an airfield this weekend. There are growing calls for a federal investigation. John Rogers is at the alert desk with the latest. John, this is causing a lot.
Oh, it really is, Victoria. So while the White House and other federal officials have stressed that the drones don't appear to be a threat to public safety, that has not calmed fears. More and more lawmakers are demanding answers, including former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan. So let's talk about this. Federal officials stress these drones are not a national security threat and are not operated by a malicious foreign actor. Some of our local lawmakers, though, are joining the call for answers. This video you're seeing here, this is from former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan. He posted this just a couple of days ago, saying that the federal response has been insufficient. And right now, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is also weighing in. Our sister station in Norfolk says drones were spotted last week near Naval Air Station Oceana.
As you all know, we have the greatest concentration of national security assets in Virginia of any state. And I have been wholly unsatisfied with the response that I have received from the federal government. We are working at the state level in collaboration with local FBI, local DOD folks, our state police, and local law enforcement.
President-elect Trump and a number of other lawmakers have pushed to have the drones shot down if needed, but it is important to note it is illegal to shoot down a drone. Victoria?
7 News spoke with students and parents frustrated with the Maryland school's response to a racist incident. What they hope will change as they're able to bring their demands directly to the head of the school system.
And during a busy time of year to travel, no one wants to feel pushed aside or rushed by airport staff. How a new rule ensures safer accommodations for people with disabilities.
And I know it's been ugly today with the rain, showers, the fog, all of it, the wet surfaces. How about a terrific Tuesday? Once the clouds leave in the morning, we've got sunshine, 64. That's near record warm for tomorrow. Even 30 degrees colder by the upcoming weekend. I'll show you why next.
It's a plan to make traveling easier for passengers with disabilities, just in time for the busy holiday season. The U.S. Department of Transportation issued a new rule requiring airlines to follow more rigorous standards on assisting airline passengers with disabilities.
The rule will require airlines to meet standards for what's called safe and dignified assistance. It also mandates annual training that includes hands-on instruction for employees and contractors who physically assist passengers and handle wheelchairs.
It also requires promptness when assisting passengers with disabilities.
The handling of a racist incident at Maryland High School has parents, students, and educators calling for change. What we can expect as the school district prepares for a public meeting tomorrow.
A racist incident this month at Wootton High School will be the focus of conversation at a community meeting.
Kelly Lynn outside that school in Rockville once again asking educators, parents, and students what they're hoping comes out of this meeting. Kelly?
Yes, that's what I wanted to know today from the school community. The Wootton High PTSA is inviting school families to attend a meeting inside the auditorium on December 17th at 7 p.m. The invitation comes after the N-word was written on the desk of a black student on December 2nd. On Monday, I spoke to the co-president of Wootton's Black Student Union. Will you all be presenting at all at this meeting?
We will not, but we will be in attendance.
MCPS Superintendent Dr. Thomas Taylor, Chief of Schools Dr. Peter Moran, and Acting Principal Dr. Joseph Bostic Jr. are expected to attend the meeting.
I think a lot of parents are still a little bit confused on how we ended up in this situation. And to a lot of parents who haven't been here throughout the whole process, it seems like a big jump to place our principal on administrative leave. But I think this is an opportunity for parents to voice their concerns.
The email from the PTSA explains the meeting will offer a deeper discussion about the support being provided to the community, and community members may submit questions in advance. I asked Wootton PTSA member Dr. Nkem Okeke what she hopes to hear from MCPS leaders.
Let people know what actually happened. No sugarcoating, no trying to make it a more comfortable narrative of what happened so that people can become aware.
And today I reached out to MCPS to learn more about what it plans to share at this upcoming meeting on Tuesday. I also wanted to know some details about that training that staff received last week to enhance their response to hate and bias incidents. Although the school system did not provide any details about what it plans to share on Tuesday, it did tell me through a statement that the training was mandatory for 156 staff members, including administrators, and that additional training for administrators, including the new acting principal, will take place tomorrow. Now, parents who would like to submit a question in advance of the meeting can do so on our website. We've posted a link where they can achieve that. Reporting live outside Wootton High School in Rockville, Montgomery County, Kelly Lynn, 7 News.
All right, Kelly, you'll be following it, and we'll be at that meeting tomorrow. Thank you. All right, now we're talking about the weather. It's starting to get into that Christmas forecast time of year. I mean, 60s for December. It's pretty darn good, but
yeah, that's tomorrow.
Now we're going to drop after that. Yeah, big time.
Good temperatures. You can almost hear them. That'll be this weekend, but then next week we'll see the temperatures rise again, which means the next weather maker for next week, it's going to bring rain, not snow. A lot of folks want to know travel plans, right? We're going to continue First Alert Weather to update that Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast.
That's all we want to know, yeah.
And it is looking wet, but right now it's not looking like any major storm that's going to be causing airport delays. We'll see some rain around the Ohio Valley all the way south. Look at Atlanta, looking at rain. Detroit, cloudy conditions and likely to have some rain. And around here for Christmas Day, it is looking dry. Your snow way over here in the Intermountain West. Some of the ski resorts out there just loving it with yet another storm that'll be hitting the West Coast, Pacific Northwest, likely on Christmas Day the way it's looking now. So have we ever had any snow on Christmas? Only 13 Christmases have been white over the last 125 years. That's 1 inch of snowfall or greater. In fact, we have as low as a 10% chance each year of getting some snow. And around here, no snow for us. It's all about the rain, and we do have 2 more weather makers that we're tracking. One for Tuesday late. That'll give us a temperature drop after getting in the 60s tomorrow afternoon. And then another midweek, Wednesday during the afternoon, more rain showers coming our way after about 2 p.m. Right now, again, some of the fog out there. That's live from Germantown, Maryland. Look at the pavement, all shiny and wet, but with temperatures right now in the upper 30s and lower 40s and on the rise. Don't have to worry about any iciness. Look at 9 p.m., 40s to 50 degrees out there. Not much rain, should be over with by around 2 o'clock in the morning, so we'll start the day tomorrow with clouds. How about the next 12 hours? It's on the screen now. Look at midnight, 49. We'll rise to the lower 50s, and by 6 o'clock in the morning, 52, the temperature with, again, no rain, just clouds. I want to take you out another couple of hours. This will be your 24-hour trend now. 52 degrees in the morning, your 60 by 1 o'clock, and then 64 degrees around 3 p.m. And look at the sunshine just after lunchtime tomorrow. Clear skies for 7 p.m. with rain returning Wednesday. As mentioned, after about 2 o'clock. Showers start I-81, and it's all liquid, too, the way it's looking with this system. I had a question earlier if we're going to get any snow with it. It is looking all liquid, 2 to 11 p.m. on Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny to partly sunny skies, lower to mid 40s, so we drop below average. And then for the upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, just downright cold with sunshine and feels like temperatures in the teens to lower 20s. Boy, that's cold, guys. John?
VJ, thank you. Just a couple of hours ago from the alert desk, we learned a grand jury indicted Brendan Banfield on 1 count of felony child abuse and another count of felony child cruelty. As we've been reporting extensively, Banfield and the family's au pair, Juliana Perez Magajes, are connected to the murder of Brendan's wife, Christine, and another man. A couple of hours ago, Commonwealth's attorney Steve Descano announced investigators uncovered new information about the day of the murder. He says Banfield's actions involving his then 4-year-old daughter were criminal in nature and warranted these new charges. Banfield's trial is set for February. Perez Magajes, she pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and she has a sentencing scheduled for March.
All right, John, thank you. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock, a lawsuit tonight after a vicious beating that a Prince William County school was warned was about to happen. Only on 7 News tonight, the injured parents speaking out, asking why it wasn't prevented.
But first, next at 5, the online response to a healthcare CEO's murder sparks criticism of lawmakers who are now amplifying calls for healthcare reform.
The broad daylight murder of a healthcare executive has led to some online popularity for that shooter and attempts in Congress to use the killing to call for healthcare reform. National correspondent Matt Galka reports on the divisive response to this still shocking shooting.
The suspected United Healthcare CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, is cemented firmly in public conversation.
I don't have real condolences for the healthcare CEO. I mean, this is a real person, But you also gotta go, sometimes drug dealers get shot.
Mangione has emerged in some circles as a sympathetic figure fighting the system. A legal defense fund set up on the platform Give, Send, Go has raised more than $128,000 as of Monday, with messages of support from anonymous donors.
Just a cold-blooded, horrible killing, and how people can like this guy is, that's a sickness, actually.
Wanted posters for other CEOs popped up in New York City. Self-described socialist clothing company Comrade Workwear says they're going to make playing cards of other most wanted CEOs. Some Democrats see it as a moment that can't be ignored for healthcare reform.
What you have seen rising up is people's anger at a health insurance industry which denies people the health care that they desperately need.
Murder is never justified. It isn't. But if this country's leaders don't pay attention to the conversation that's happening right now this weekend, that is a mistake.
Progressive Democratic Senator and healthcare industry critic Elizabeth Warren had to walk back comments she made to the Huffington Post last week. Warren told the outlet in part, violence is never the answer, but people can be pushed only so far. Before telling Politico, I should have been much clearer that there is never a justification for murder.
They are just very lost on this right now, Democrats, and they are just trying to shoehorn a policy argument into a cold-blooded murder.
The organizers of the Online Defense Fund say they're reaching out to Mangione's new attorney to try and ask the suspect what he'd like the money to be spent on. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.